Have you ever been out just running errands, doing something totally mundane,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then suddenly you spot something, and it seems like, wow, this could be an incredible deal.
That little unexpected find.
Exactly, that potential gem. It makes you
Yeah.
pause, right, and think, is this really a bargain?
Or could it actually be, well, a burden in disguise?
Precisely. And that's what we're exploring today. We're asking that question. Bargain or burden?
And we're doing it through a really interesting lens.
Yeah, our deep dive today looks at a fascinating personal account. It's from Notes on Photography, part 198.
Very recent, published August 18th, 2025.
And the author, Ang, shares their journey with a used camera, a classic, actually the Nikon D7000.
Right, a well-regarded DSLR from, what, about 15 years ago? Prosumer level?
And Ang's story, it just offers some really insightful points about what makes a good deal today, especially with used tech.
Yeah, what's really great about Ang's notes is how they kind of challenge the usual thinking around deals. So, our mission here, for you listening, is really to unpack Ang's whole decision-making process.
We want to see what their experience tells us about, evaluating used tech now in today's market.
Hoping it helps you figure out what value really means for you and make better choices for your own needs.
Whether it's a camera or an old laptop or, any pre-loved tech.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Ang is just doing the regular grocery shopping.
Totally normal, right? We've all been there.
And then, bam, there it is. A used Nikon D7000, body only.
And the price.
Selling for 999 Malaysian ringgit, MYR.
Okay.
Which Ang, being practical, just rounds up to MYR 1,000 in their head straight away.
Right. Makes sense.
And you can tell, reading it, this definitely caught their attention. That initial pull was there. Like, ooh, could this be a great find?
And what's fascinating right there is that very common pull, isn't it? You see a known brand, Nikon, a seemingly good price.
Yeah, that instant spark of excitement. A high-end camera once, now much cheaper.
But Ang was prudent. That's what stands out. They didn't just jump in. They specifically say they let the thought sat for a day or so after doing some research.
That pause, it's so important.
It really is. It makes you think, don't we sometimes just look at specs? Or what it used to cost?
Instead of how it actually fits into our line.
Yeah, what's the psychology there? That draw to a brand name on sale, even before you really dig into the details.
That's a great question, and I think Ang's story gives us some clues. Okay, let's unpack this then.
Right.
Ang did the research, took that really important pause, and then decided not to buy the D7000.
So what tipped the scales? What turned it from a potential bargain into, well, a burden?
The reasons are really instructive, I think. First off, a clear financial point.
The price itself.
Yeah. Ang was very direct. MYR 999, or that rounded up 1,000, was just too high for them.
Okay. Did they have a price in mind?
They did. They explicitly said they'd only consider it if it were around MYR 500 or less.
Wow. Okay. That's basically half the asking price.
Huge difference. It immediately flags that personal budget limit. It's like textbook buyer's remorse avoided right there.
It absolutely is. And what strikes me is the range of reasons. It wasn't just the price tag.
Yeah, not at all.
They looked beyond that at longevity and risk, with older tech.
Right. The warranty was a factor too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it came with a 3-month warranty. Ang thought that was way too short.
And why is that? I mean, what's the risk with a D7000 now?
Well, think about it. A DSLR from around 2010, that shutter mechanism has seen some use.
They have a limited lifespan, right?
Exactly. And other key parts, the main board, the sensor, they can have age-related issues too. Plus, Ang acknowledged finding replacement parts for this model is difficult. That's a very real worry with older gear.
Definitely. Not like buying new where parts are easy to get.
Right. Finding a specific circuit board or a shutter for a D7000, it could be a nightmare. Or just really expensive and slow.
So a 3-month warranty doesn't offer much protection against those kinds of issues popping up later.
Barely any. Latent problems often take longer than that to show themselves in used gear.
Yeah, it's interesting how a deal can fall apart when you factor in those hidden risks.
And then there was the workflow impact.
Ah, yes, the post-processing.
Right. Ang felt they'd need to spend a lot of time editing the photos on a computer to get the look they wanted.
Which suggests it wouldn't really fit their current way of shooting. Maybe they wanted something more immediate.
Possibly, like wanting images that look good straight out of the camera without tons of editing time.
But here's where it gets really interesting. I think this is where the story goes deeper.
Okay.
Besides the price, which is obviously a big hurdle,
Yeah.
the single most surprisingly major factor The camera's weight.
The weight. Really?
Yes. Aang actually imagined holding it, shooting with it, and realized, just practically, it wasn't right for them.
Wow.
Especially for the kind of photography they wanted to do street or travel.
So it wasn't about megapixels or sensor performance?
Nope. It was about the physical, everyday reality of using it.
Okay, if we connect that to the bigger picture, Aang's experience really shows this key shift we see more and more in user priorities.
How so?
Well, the D7000, Aang notes, could work fine as a used DSLR for macro photography. That's a specific use case.
Right, where weight might even help with stability on a tripod or something.
Exactly. But it got rejected because it feels more like a dedicated working camera, rather than fitting Aang's desire for an everyday carry.
Okay. That everyday carry idea is key.
It really emphasizes how personal utility, how a device actually fits into your life, literally how it feels in your hands, can override the specs, even override what looks like a good price.
It really highlights that the best camera on paper isn't always the best camera for you if it's too heavy or bulky to actually use.
Spot on. And we see this everywhere, not just cameras. Think about laptops.
Lightweight, portable ones versus powerful desktops.
Yeah, lots of people choose portability. Or smartwatches versus big, heavy mechanical watches.
It's a move towards convenience. Seamless integration.
I think so. Often even trading off some raw power. Or like, in Aang's case, that classic reputation.
So for someone shooting on the go, traveling, that D7000 weight is a real barrier.
But for a studio photographer, maybe not an issue at all. It really depends on your specific use case.
Which brings us back to Aang's desired alternative.
Right. They're not giving up on macro photography.
No.
They just want a lighter camera that can be an everyday carry and still do the macro stuff.
Combining portability with that specific function they need.
It's a direct contrast to the D7000's heavy working camera feel.
It seems like a very practical, user-focused way to evaluate it, prioritizing the experience.
Exactly. Over just the specifications sheet.
So what does this all mean for you, listening?
Well, Aang's journey with this Nikon really shows that even a good price on a capable camera, it isn't always a bargain.
Not if it doesn't line up with your specific needs, right? Your budget, your lifestyle.
It feels like Aang's story isn't just about cameras. It's about defining what value actually means to each of us.
And realizing that the true bargain is really about that personal fit.
Yeah. How will this thing integrate into your life? How does it feel? Does it help you do what you want, or does it get in the way?
It's such a clear example of how that bargain or burden question, especially with used tech, is so deeply personal.
It forces you, the buyer, to really define what you value most. Is it power? Portability? Ease of use? Longevity? Some mix.
Aang's story is like a perfect case study for that kind of thinking, pushing us past the obvious stuff.
We've all been there, haven't we? Made that impulse buy.
Oh, yeah.
And it ends up just sitting there. Or it's more trouble than it's worth.
My burden in disguise was definitely a super fancy espresso machine. Looked amazing.
Oh.
But the amount of cleaning and fuss, it just didn't fit my actual morning routine. Total burden.
I can picture it.
So we really encourage you listening, reflect on Aang's experience. What are those hidden factors you might overlook?
And you're tempted by that seemingly great deal.
How do you balance the upfront cost against, long-term usability? Repair hassles, just the day-to-day feel of using it.
And building right on Aang's point about the D7000's weight.
Yeah?
Here's a final thought to leave you with. What everyday assumptions do we make about new tech or even used gear?
Assumptions that could, accidentally turn something good into a frustration.
Is the real cost of a bargain sometimes measured in how adaptable we are? Or maybe how adaptable we are?
Just some unexpected everyday factor, just like that camera's weight was for Aang.
What really stands out to you from Aang's journey with that D7000?